afternoon. I am from Attune Technologies. Our founder, CEO, Arvind, couldn't make it because he had several other commitments. And the topic here was apps accelerating healthcare delivery. And I am handling mobility solutions in Attune Technologies. So I am the right guy to talk about. Attune Technologies is an established company in healthcare industry with all the IT products, whether you call HIS, LIS, EMR, pharmacy system, everything we have, and these systems are available on cloud. So that is the background of Attune Technologies, and we are also in the mobile apps now. So the topic apps, it's a good topic. We all know it's apps generation, right? Every house you go and ask, what is the complaint? People are addicted to smartphones. People are addicted to apps. And we just saw a few minutes back, even babies are addicted to smartphones and apps. So apps is the world today. The question is how it is transforming the healthcare industry. Right? So it's a vast subject. Let me explain from two perspectives. One from home healthcare, and if the time permits, little bit about in-hospital scenarios. Home healthcare is not new. Right? We have seen in from our childhood days that home healthcare means suddenly you remember a senior citizen at home and the doctors coming. We used to have family doctors. They come whenever someone gets ill, come look at the patients and prescribe whatever. So it is not just that now. It's not about only senior citizens. Right? Even we sometimes do not feel like going to hospitals because of n number of reasons. Some of the scenarios here, probably you can relate to. See the queue there in the OPD department? Is there any way I can avoid? See the traffic there? Is there any way I can do things at home? So there are multiple such reasons where home health care is becoming really a good thing to have. It is not just for the senior citizens, right? And when it comes to IT, obviously what we are doing is you are seeing there lots of records, no more files now, everything available in electronic medical records. So what we are going to talk is that is already there. Electronic medical records are there. Now the apps are coming to picture. So how we are merging these two together so that everything is available in your fingertips. So I thought the home healthcare is a good way to explain that. A typical home healthcare scenario, which we are very much involved. You have a patient at home. Obviously, you know there are many apps in the market, how to find a doctor. Right? I'll not go there. But there are other ways too. There is a traditional way. There are many companies, service providers who provide 1-800 number. You just call them. You ask for a home health care, so let us say physicians have to come home or the nurse have to come home. You can just call them. Typical 1-800 number. So what happens? So imagine the patient is there at home. So he calls 1-800 number and there is a service provider. What you see, there are many apps which I have written there. Normally you see there are service providers who is giving home health services. So what happens normally is, okay, you call from home, you want a doctor to come, okay? So the service providers will take the call and then assign a doctor to go home. So now, earlier scenario is the doctor comes home, okay, he will come with a file probably with your all details, and he will come and test and he will prescribe something. So the granddaughters or the grandsons will have some work to do. They will go and get whatever doctor says, do the test somewhere, or take the senior citizen out of the home, do the test somewhere, and bring the prescription home. That kind of earlier scenario. Now what happens? So doctor has been assigned. So now doctors comes with a mobile. So doctor or the general physician has an app by himself. So what enables that is the back-end system, which we all know, the medical records or the laboratory system, the hospital management system, pharmacy system, whatever. All these back-end systems are available on cloud today. So when the doctors come home, he comes with an app. So whatever he has to know about the patient is already there, or he can enter those additional details he gathers. He enters, while doing all the tests, he can also enter all the records there in whatever the fashion, right? And it gets loaded into the backend system. So you can retrieve the history from there in the app. You can add new entries. You can do pretty much the whole consultation in the app. Okay, there is always a complaint that how much doctor can enter. It's all up to the doctor, but the system enables. The app is available today for a doctor to go home, do all whatever the consultation he has to do, he can do it there. So now what happens? Imagine the doctor says that, so some lab test has to be done. So what happens? So doctor, from the app, it goes to the medical records. From there, it can actually go to the lab companies and lab information systems, where, what are all the tests to be conducted, it is there. So now they can choose to send a phlebotomist. Let us say normal thing is blood sample collection, phlebotomist. You can choose to send them from your hospital or from your laboratory, or there are service providers who basically do this kind of healthcare service. So the phlebotomist app is available today. So the phlebotomist go home, they collect the blood samples, along with whatever is required, they can just enter in the app. Okay, they collect the blood sample, put the barcode label on it, they send it back to the lab. Lab is where all the tests will happen, the reports will come. The reports again goes directly to the medical record, so which the doctor accesses. So the back-end system has grown so much that these things are available even in the medical records, and the doctor can see the lab report. So a lot of things are automated. So now doctor comes next time to home, again he sees the lab report. Along with the rest of the medical record, he can take the action. Maybe he will say, okay, the nurse has, he will ask next 7 days, nurse has to come and do certain procedures. Fine. Then there are nursing apps coming. There are multiple type of nursing apps today, whether it's a general purpose nursing, or whether it is long-term nursing, short-term nursing, post-operative nursing, whatever you name it, there are apps coming. Similarly, physiotherapists coming home. There are services available today. There are apps available for physiotherapists. And all these apps, again, put the records back to the medical record. So there is no end. These apps are being written for every role you can think of, who can come home, and everything is electronically available now. So that is the kind of scenario the home healthcare today is, and it is transforming itself. IPD scenario, I think most of us we know, there are apps coming there too. There, the doctors, nurses are not stationed only in their cabins. They are on the move. Once they are on the move, then how do you communicate to them? Apps comes into picture. Any kind of instant communication along with the workflow approval comes handy in the IPD scenario, and there are such applications available. Similarly, patient registration, queue management. Suddenly the manager can come. If the queue is too long, he can bring his laptop, he can bring his tablet and do things on his own without waiting for the patient registration to happen. Yeah. So that's the last slide. So what next? Where are we going? So today we have seen the computers. Now it is the apps age. We brought mobility into the solution. So tomorrow, I think more and more things getting automated. We have already heard about the sensors, the wearables, and IoT kind of technology, the health track recording, everything through apps. That is what is going to happen. Before you imagine, another app comes. That is the kind of trend today. So overall, I would say, as our Prime Minister says, अच्छे दिन आ रहा है. Okay? Thank you.